Are you entertained? To entertain, one must first be enlightened. Gentle viewers, it is with great pleasure, and dare I say, a dash of impertinence, that I present to you this season's TBR. Assure you that what follows is nothing short of exceptional. Stay tuned for an unforgettable literary journey. I know all too well that time is a commodity more precious than the finest tea service. Thus, I shall not waste yours with frivolous recommendations better suited to those still wet behind the ears. What awaits you, my gentle viewers, is a carefully curated selection of novels that will have you burning the midnight oil. Propriety be damned. Now then, shall we proceed to the main course? I do so hope you've come with an appetite for the extraordinary and an open mind for this innovative approach showcasing this season's TBR. Just a little extra something.
So, my fellow seekers of knowledge, shall we venture into the shadows together? Pour yourself a hot, steamy cup of tea, or a glass of whiskey. No one knows what's in this. Cuddle up in your most comfortable chair, in your reading nook, and let's uncover the secrets that lie within these pages. Don't forget to grab your book because you are going to want to take notes, because these books, they're going to ignite a passion in you. You'll be shocked. So, to autumn nights and ancient tomes and the timeless pursuit of knowledge, welcome to our DarkAcademia TBR. Darling, have to keep it secret because I do not want you to know the title of this book. Sometimes, you ever heard that old adage, don't judge a book by its cover? What if we judged it just a little bit from the first couple of lines?
Act 1. Prologue. I sit with my wrists cuffed to the table and I think, but that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul. The guard stands by the door watching me like he's waiting for something to happen. Enter Joseph Colborne. He is a graying man now, almost 50. It's a surprise every few weeks to see how much he's aged. And he's aged a little more every few weeks for 10 years. He sits across from me, folds his hands, and says, Oliver. Joe, heard the parole hearing went your way. Congratulations. I'd thank you if I thought you meant it. You know I don't think you belong in here. That doesn't mean you think I'm innocent. No. He sighs, checks his watch, the same one he's worn since we met, as if I'm boring him. So why are you here? I ask. Same fortnightly reason? His eyebrows make a flat black line. You would say fucking fortnight. You can take the boy out of the theater or something like that. He shakes his head, simultaneously amused and annoyed. Well, I say. Well, what? Why are you here? You should know by now I'm not going to tell you anything. Actually, he says, this time I think I might be able to change your mind.
All right. I will preface this so you have a teeny hint of what this book entails. You are going to find passion, dark desires, and we do have to unravel a mystery. So, let's see if you'll enjoy this soiree, because I do believe that sometimes books need to be introduced in a different way. The introduction, the book, is inscribed to the freaks, the misfits, the bullied, the loners, the insecure, the damaged. You are worthy. You are warriors. Tell me that does not inspire you to want to turn the page and find out what this is about. This is a dark royal romance. It is a fractured tale, not fantasy or a retelling. The main character is a villain. If you're looking for a safe read, you will not find it in these pages. This book contains mature and graphic content that is not suitable for all audiences. Okay, it's not suitable for all audiences. Reader discretion is advised. I highly prefer for you to go in blind. Don't you want to read more? Don't you want to find out what this book is about? Prologue. Loyalty. One word. 3 syllables. 7 letters. 0 meaning. I believe this is my brother's never ending speech. It runs through his veins, thicker than the blood that binds us. If you listen to gossip in the court, you believe the same. Prince Michael never find king. Carry on his father's legacy, that's to be sure. Something thick lodges its spiked edges in my throat. Lodges its spiked edges in my throat. My gaze moving between the roaring flames of the fireplace at the other end of the room and the oil lamp placed in the center of the table, the one occupied by members of the Privy Council. Half a dozen faces and not one of them filled with grief. My chest pulls. Life is about experiences, sire. And for appearance's sake, we must do what needs to be done. Xander, my father's, now my brother's head advisor, states his focus on where Michael sits. Just as it's known your father passed peacefully in his bed, it's also known you have quite the appetite. Do you want to read this? Would you like to read this? Can we say this is on my TBR for fall? Scarred by Emily McIntyre. Be sure to put this one on your list because we'll be venturing into this one.
Now, my dear readers, I present to you a choice. Will you dare to open this book of doors and step into a world where the ordinary becomes extraordinary and where every turn of the page may lead you down a path of both wonder and peril? I warn you, this is not a tale for the faint of heart or those who prefer their lives as bland as unseasoned soup. No, this story is for those of you who understand that true adventure often comes disguised as misfortune and that the most valuable treasures are often hidden in the most unlikely of places, like, say, a modest neighborhood bookshop. So I ask you, are you prepared to question everything you thought you knew about the power of the written word? Are you ready to embark on a journey that will challenge your wits, test your courage, and perhaps even unlock secrets within yourself that you never knew existed? If your answer is yes, then by all means proceed, but do so with caution. For once you step through this particular door, I dare say, you will find it quite impossible to close. And between you and me, that might be the most thrilling prospect of all. The choice is always yours. Though, if you're anything like our intrepid heroine, I suspect I already know what you'll decide. After all, the greatest stories are those we dare to live ourselves. Are they not? If you have stuck around and still listening and you are enjoying this, please leave a comment down below. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This is the Book of Doors. Gotta try this one out.
Trigger content warnings. The Coven is a dark paranormal romance with gothic vibes and a dark academia setting. The male lead in this series is pushy, domineering, and manipulative. He goes beyond my typical morally gray antihero and is, in my opinion, an actual villain who gets his AGA.
Now, let's delve into the shadows of our next TBR. It echoes of Hogwarts, but with a gritty realism of a world on the brink of chaos. Picture, if you will, the hallowed halls of Basgiath War College, an institution that would make even Lady Danbury raise an intrigued eyebrow. Our protagonist is no wide-eyed ingenue. She's a woman forged in the fires of expectation, stepping into a legacy that threatens to consume her. We've all faced our own dragons, haven't we? But here's where things get deliciously complicated. In a world where riding dragons may be the key to power, power comes at a price. As we follow the characters meander through a labyrinth of the unexpected and a new book, Onyx, being released in January. This TBR leaves one to ponder. In a society built on the backs of dragons, what truly separates the riders from the ridden? Guess we will find out. Or will we? In the Iron Flame, book 2 of the series.
I love dark and I love moody. But when this season ends, we're close to Christmas. And some people are saying that this particular genre book situation is reminiscent of Christmas. I don't see it, but I'm going to go with it. Because any excuse that I can use to enjoy Harry Potter, I am going to do that. So, without further ado, let me explain something to you. I went on a trip. I didn't make it to Honeydukes, although I do love this cup. I went down to Diagon Alley, and I met a gentleman there. Very cloaked, very mysterious. And he told me about this book that you can find online. It's actually at Goodreads only. Okay. This book is amazing. It's a series. So when you start one book, you're going to want to go to the second, the third, the fourth, the whole thing. So I, being the wonderful Hufflepuff that I am, I'm going to provide you with have to pull out my leather book, a little small synopsis about this particular book. If you're a purveyor of academia artifacts, you'll find that here. If you love the mysteries, you'll find that here. If you're a sleuth and you love to solve things, you'll find it here. My fellow wizards, witches, and muggles who love magic, I am going to take you back to a magical time. We have to use our time turners for this because this story This story is embarking on a journey that would make Dumbledore's eyes twinkle with mischief. Oh, it's Dumbledore. His eyes twinkle with mischief. It's called James Potter and the Elder Wand. Okay, I know what you're thinking. James Potter, that's Harry's son. How is this going to be good? Trust me, it is more than good. It's amazing. Come on. Okay, there's so much for you to see on this particular site. It's amazing. I had to let you take it all in. You are in the Great Hall, and we are going to start with book 1, going to the audio book. It tells you who's actually doing the audio recording, and we're going to play an excerpt of this book.
James Potter moved slowly along the narrow aisles of the train, peering as nonchalantly as he could into each compartment. To those inside, he probably looked as if he was searching for someone, some friend or group of confidants with whom to pass the time during the trip. And this was intentional. The last thing that James wanted anyone to notice was that, despite the bravado he had so recently displayed with his younger brother Albus on the platform, he was nervous. His stomach knotted and churned as if he'd had half a bite of one of Uncle Ron's and George's puking pastilles. He opened the folding door at the end of the carriage and stepped carefully through the passage into the next one. The first compartment was full of girls. They were talking animatedly to one another, already apparently the best of friends, despite the fact that most likely they had only just met. One of them glanced up and saw him staring. He quickly looked away, pretending to peer out the window behind them, towards the station which still sat bustling with activity. Feeling his cheeks go a little red, he continued down the corridor. If only Rose was a year older, she'd be here with him. She was a girl, but she was his cousin, and they'd grown up together. It would have been nice to have at least one familiar face along with him. Of course, Ted and Victoire were also on the train. Ted, a seventh year, had been so quickly absorbed into a noisy throng of returning friends and classmates that it barely had time to wave and wink at James before disappearing into a crammed compartment from which emanated the thump of music on a sleek new wireless. Victoire, 5 years older than he, had invited him to sit with her during the trip, but James wasn't as comfortable with her as he was with Rose, and didn't relish the idea of listening to her prattle on with the 4 other girls in her compartment about pixie powder blushes and hair care charms. Being part Vila, Victoire had never had any problem making friends of either gender quickly and effortlessly. Besides, something in James felt that he needed to assert himself as an individual straight off, even if the thought left him feeling nervous and lonely. It wasn't that he worried about going to Hogwarts exactly. He'd been looking forward to this day for most of his life, ever since he was old enough to understand what it meant to be a wizard. Ever since his mum had told him of the school he'd one day attend, the secret school that witches and wizards attended to learn magic.
One, I'm not going to give you like 150 books that I'm going to read over the fall because I'm a person of a certain mature status. I work. I have other things that I have to do. So I made my list pretty short, but I do have some honorable mentions. Okay, this one is called Pure, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I read the synopsis in the back, and it says, you must stay away from the one who brings nothing but heartache and death. Know the difference between need and love, fate and future, And I was like, ooh, that sounds pretty good. But then what really drew me in, yep, the blue pages. And the fact that it seems like it's a series. So if it's a real, I love watching Dark Academia type shows on television, but I love comparing them to the books. So I thought what I would do would look at the Six of Crows. Okay. And this is from Bones. Oh, what is the, hold on, guys. I watch so much. Oh, Shadow and Bone. That's it. Shadow and Bone. So this is a series that embarks on that. So it's 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. Six of Crows. Okay. I'll go into this one a little bit later if I, adding it to the list because it is a honorable mention, a very strong possibility. Followed by I Love to Thrift. This is a thrifty book. This one is called Mirror Girls. Okay. Heart racing. Lily from glass to glass. Wild to find my reflection in the hall of mirrors. How is it possible that not a single mirror reflects me? Though I spin and dart and turn, every mirror is the same. In every glass, I am gone. It is just as if a girl were never born with the name Magnolia Heathwood, as if I were already dead. What? What? This one they call Southern Gothic, a thriller about race, family, and what it means to call a place home. But I told you to wait till the end because I have a secret. I have a couple of secrets. But this one is a secret that benefits you. Well, my other secrets might benefit you too. But if you leave a comment, don't forget to like and subscribe. But if you leave a comment, I have a book for you. This will be coming to you at the end of the season. And so, dear scholars, we come to the end of our literary journey for now. But remember, in the world of dark academia, endings are merely new beginnings in disguise. The knowledge we've explored tonight is but a whisper of the secrets that await us in the depths of these tomes. As you leave our scholarly sanctuary, I implore you to carry the flame of curiosity with you. Let the stories we've discussed ignite your imagination and fuel your own intellectual pursuits. Until we meet again, stay whimsical and dream big.